Hello everyone and welcome. I'm DJ Vicious. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to do a cache import for CTS Wardrobe. But before we begin, I'd like to introduce my friend Smiley. Say hi, Smiley. Well, I guess he doesn't have much to say tonight. So as promised, in this video, we're going to show you all the steps you need in order to successfully import items directly from your inventory into your CTS Wardrobe. A couple of things that we'll need to do before we get started is to know where our cache location is. For those of you using Firestorm, you'll come up to Avatar, you will select Preferences, Network and Files, Directories. Here it will show you the cache location for your viewer. Now here I have a custom location set up. You don't have to do this, but for me, I find it a lot easier. In either case, this is where your cache directory is. Now not to worry folks, at any point if you need to pause the video, you can always go back and check the steps one by one as we move along. The next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that Windows and your browser can find the things that we need in Windows. By default, Windows hides certain files and folders for security and protection, but we'll need to make sure that we have access to these. For those of you that have watched my whitelisting video, you've already gone through this step and is already set and good to go. But in the case that you haven't, at the bottom of your screen, you probably have a search bar. Or, if you don't have that, you can click on the Windows icon and use the search bar here. What you'll do is you'll type in File, Explorer, Options, and we'll click that there. Bring this window into focus. You'll notice that there are three tabs: General, View, and Search. We're going to focus on the View tab. If we come down into the window, we see there's a section here for hidden files and folders. By default, it's set to Do Not Show Files, Folders, or Drives. We'll want to select the radio option for Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives. Be sure to click Apply, then OK. Now we're set and good to go in terms of what Windows needs and knowing where our directory is. Some other steps that you might want to take before you get started is it could be helpful to create a separate folder in your inventory just for CTS importing. Some folks will choose to import directly from their RLV. Now, why there's no reason you shouldn't do that and no harm to do that, but you may find it easier for organization and memory to have a separate location. So as you can see here, I have a number of subfolders, and this matches exactly what I have in CTS in my navigation tree, as we'll see later. For this demonstration, I've chosen to import some jackets. Here, there are 62 different things that we're going to import. Now, some of these, as you can see, are very plain. They just have the folder and then just the item. A few of these are more complex, where I have different subfolders, as you can see here, for different HUDs. We have the item itself and an image that I've taken for the item. Now it's important to note that the image needs to be in the main folder so that the image imports along with all the information that we have. So how do we import? Let's get into it. If we come into CTS, you'll notice you have Import, SL Inventory Import. Now here you're presented with two options: Import from Live Inventory and Import from Cache File. Now we're going to be doing the cache, but just for the sake of argument and to be thorough, Import from Live Inventory logs into your account, so this would require you to log out of the viewer. Import from Live Inventory requires you to input your username and password so that it can log in. The options are a little bit different. For me, and honestly, and for the purposes of this video, the cache file is the fastest way to go. Now, while we're talking about a cache file, there's something very important we should know. The cache only updates when you close your viewer. So this means that if you've organized your inventory, clothing, objects, whatever you're importing, once you've got them in the folders and you're ready to go, you need to log out. Now most of you will notice that when you log out of Firestorm, there is a shutting down window that appears. This is updating your cache file. When that window goes away, it has successfully updated your cache file, and then you can log back in. This is an important step because if the cache file isn't updated, when we go to import here, you won't see the things in the folders that you've created. You won't see any of the inventory items. You won't see any of it. So now we're going to make sure that we select the radio button for import from cache file. We're going to select next. Now in this case, we're going to select choose file. What are we choosing? Well, you'll notice that here it gives you the name of the file that we're looking for. Now in Windows, I noticed that the .gz is not at the end of the file name. I can't say if that's true for Mac or Linux, but in Windows, this is most certainly true. Now this number is going to be different for everyone, but it will always be the same every time you do this. So in my case, I can look here and I can say, okay, I'm looking for a file that ends in 9efa.imv.list. I'm going to go ahead and choose file. Long and behold, there it is right there. I'm going to select open. And as you can see, it's going to go ahead and open that folder. Now, I'm looking for my CTS import. There it is there. I'm going to click on the actual words for CTS import and expand the subfolders. Now, as we talked about, we're going to do jacket. Now, some people will just go ahead and click on this and go, great, next, done. There's a problem with that. Let me show you. As I click on jacket, none of these are selected, which means it won't import any of this. So how we do this is we first click on jacket, which expands and shows all the subfolders. We then check the box for jacket. You notice that all the folders are now checked, which means now we're going to import all of those. Now we're going to click on next. Now it gives me a preview of one of the items that are in there, as you can see. It also gives me a preview of what it's going to do to my navigation tree. It shows me that it's going to create an M entry, my inventory, CTS import, and in this case, jacket. Now you can import multiple directories at one time. You can absolutely do that. Okay, but this is just a preview. This is not representative of everything that it's going to import. This is just a quick preview to show you that how it's going to lay out. Now it looks like this because I have this option checked. Create one nested tag from the folder structure. You'll see why, once we do this, that this is the easiest option for speed, efficiency, and organization. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. Here, you want to make sure that none of these boxes are checked. If in the event that they are, you just click Select None, make sure that none are checked, and then we can proceed. Now, as you can see, it's importing all those 62 items that quickly. And it's creating them too. Here we go. It's complete. Finish. Now, as promised, here it is in the navigation tree. My inventory, CTS import, jacket. Voila. There's all 62 items created automatically for me, based upon the folder names, of course, with the images that were included in the folders. Now, in this example, I've chosen to keep a few of these blank. So in the event that maybe you've taken a bunch of images for things that you've not added to CTS yet and you've saved them to your local disk, you can still import your items without images. In this case, you would simply come into your edit, and if you had already taken the images and stored them to local disk, obviously you'll click on Browse for Image, and then you can browse through your computer for where you have those images added or stored, and then you can add them this way. Or if you have them, excuse me, if you have a direct URL, you can do that, the UUID. And don't forget, you can also drag and drop. So if the images that you're looking for are on the marketplace, Flickr, any of the social media, anywhere, you can drag and drop directly from your browser into CTS and add that image. Now, once we already have all this set, and we have all of our images and we're happy with the way everything looks, the next thing we'll do is we'll use the multi-edit tool. Because as of right now, the tagging on these is M, my inventory, CTS import jacket. That's obviously not where I want them. I want them up here in my main directory where I keep all such things. So I'm going to use multi-edit. As you can see, it selects all the items here. I'm now going to select replace all tags. So in my case, these are jackets. So where do I put my jackets? Clothing, / jacket. Okay, or you can select it there automatically. Now, once I click OK, that takes all these 62 items out of this view and moves them all into wherever you told them to put it. In this case, I said put them in clothing, jacket. That's my tag. So it would take it over to here and it would put under clothing and it would put all these in jacket. Okay, as you will see here, this is the finished product. Once I update my tags, they all belong over here. Now you see all these links? We'll cover that in another video on how to create these links and what they do and how to make them work for you. I do hope you have enjoyed the video. This concludes our cache import video, and don't forget you can always rewind, stop, pause, or anything you need during the video so you can go step by step. I do hope you enjoyed. Have a great night.